my name is Sergeant Jim Wagner. I'm a police officer in the United States. I've been a police officer for approximately 15 years. Within these 15 years, I've also done counterterrorism. After 9/11, I ended up for about a year doing counterterrorism with the United States federal government as a special agent. Throughout my career, I've also been a defensive tactics instructor, teaching police and military units worldwide. I've had the opportunity to train with approximately 500 units, German GSG-9, Argentinian GOE, Brazilian GACE, Seattle Police Department, Boston SWAT teams, Miami Police Department. And throughout my travels, I've also had an opportunity to train with the Israelis. In fact, I was in Israel several months ago training with special units, with their special forces, and that's something that I've been doing for the past 3 years as an invitation by the Israeli government. As I go across the world, I run into a lot of people, and in Israel, I ran across, years ago, a very good instructor. In fact, he's one of the best in Israel. His name is Major Avi Nardia with the Israeli Defense Forces. He's also a reserve police officer in a specialized team. He also trained with Yamam. Yamam is Israel's top counter-terrorist team. Within the Yamam, there is a special martial art known as Kapap. In Hebrew, it's Krav Panim Lepanim, basically face-to-face combat. And what they do for the special forces in this martial art is they call it Kapap Lotar. Kapap, I just told you about, and Lotar is Loter B'chama. And what this is a type of martial art that is exclusively for the special forces. And I've had an opportunity over the years to train with him. I have today Avi Nardia with me, and he's going to do a full, complete video seminar on the art of Kapap. However, this is not the exact version that the Israeli military and police use. What it is going to be obviously some things dealing with the military. However, he's taken it a step further, and for the first time, he's created a very aggressive civilian version of Kapap. And what he's going to do is show it to you. Kapap was the original martial art of Israel. Before the other ones, Kapap was the original one back even before World War II. And then from it, many other martial arts developed. Krav Maga, Krav Magen, Hizardut, and several others. And I've had the opportunity to train in most of them and to talk with the top Israeli instructors in the world. So, sit back, enjoy the techniques that he has to show you, because this is going to be something brand new.
Hi, my name is Avi Nardia, and today I'm going to show you a very old military, the first of the IDF exercise named Kapap, face-to-face combat. And then I'll show the application, how it transferred to law enforcement, and from law enforcement to civilian application. Many people know Kapap as a micro-combat or Lotar. Thank you. I started with sentry removal as a military, and right now I will show you a few points that are very important. I use them for the sentry removal, and we will use them later on as a law enforcement, or we'll use them as civilians. One point is right in here, what I call the triangle of the neck, and you have another two in here, just up on the clavicular. Another is down under the mandibula, and one more is just right here. So like if Brian, which is me, with me now, will try to walk there. While I'm putting my finger, Brian cannot walk because the power go to his axis and atlas, and right now it gives the brain a notice that it's very dangerous to walk, and that's why it's very easy to stop him. Later on, we go to this particular points and we use them as a vital point to our martial art. When I start the century removal, I lift the nose, and as soon as I do it, the trust is open. I can slide my knife in this spot and get to his organs, as maybe to the brain or anything under the mandibula. I can get inside and get to the aorta, or I can go and get the choke. So basically, as a law enforcement, I might come, take this, and get to a choke, go back, and close the choke. Sometimes, as a law enforcement, after I do this, I hold my neck and I hold his hand. So I can choke by using my neck, and I have his hand, and I can take him to control him. Okay, many times when we go like to ground and I'm doing like, surfing on the guy, and I want to choke the guy, again, I will take the nose and I dig it and I got the choke. So it's the same point as this one, which I can use as a grappler, or I can use it to lift the head away from him. Okay? If the guy take his jaw down and he don't let me, I have those one, and I will dig this direction, take the nose, and close the choke. It could be that two people are fighting, and by fighting in front of a person in front of me, and I want to stop the fight, or I want to be involved. I don't want to come here because then I can be hit. So from here, if I do the same, I hold him. Then when you do it, you have to do it with one motion and put like a mask to his face, close his nose that he cannot breathe, and by one motion, and put him down. Again, when the guy fights, I might just want to control him, and I do this, and as soon as I hold him, I can stab my elbow inside his body and having him under my control. At the same time, I will hold his biceps that he cannot turn to me, and I manipulate the head to the other direction. So the head will come here, I will hold him. I don't want him to turn, so I will hold him in here, and at the same time, I can just drop him down. From the same position, I do this, and the guy look to the sky. I can hit his back, or I can just roll him all over down, and from here, I can run away or do anything like a fight. The next exercise, we want to make sure that the guy cannot hold nothing in his hand. He cannot pull out a gun or a knife. It could be like I'm guarding a place and I see a suspect, and I think he might be danger. I have all the reasons to think that this guy is a danger, and I'm going to drop him down and take over control on him. To do that, I will also prove that it's much more natural to hit with this palm of the hand rather than to punch. Most people are not used to punch, and even boxers that are very used to punch, they have to practice a lot, and they have also to wrap their hand, otherwise they will break the joint. So we'll start from this exercise that will prove you that it's very natural to drop on the hand and not on the fist, which this hit is much more natural than a punch to a human being. So the suspect is standing like this, and actually I approach him behind him, and by one time I grab his two ankles and I hit him like a football with my shoulder. So on the same time the guy falls down, I kick him a few times under, and I go over him. From here I grab the two hands, make sure that they are up, and from here I have only to push them down and to control the guy. When the hands are in 90 degrees to the ground and the head of the humerus touch the ground, the guy cannot move. Okay, as you saw, it's much more natural to hit and to get hit by this part of the hand than to get punched. And it doesn't mean that we are not punching, it means you have to be much more experienced to get punched. And you have to exercise your hand on makiwara, heavy bags, and to prepare all the bones, all the structure of the hand to get used to punch, not before this. So those hits with this part, like there's a special place like for the nose, it will make his eyes to tear, and it will make him fall down. So like if the guy coming forward and I do this, he fall down. If I want to push those two fingers inside his eyes on the same time, I can do it. If I want to go much more aggressive with him, okay? But this push his head and let him away from me. Another is to take those two fingers, and as you remember, I put the knife in here, here, here. Sometimes you can cut, but it makes noise. If you get to his aorta, it's immediately dead. If you get to the brain, it's immediately handicapped and dead. So I'm using my two fingers instead of a knife, and I just push two fingers in here, and I nail the guy to the ground. So I can do it with one arm by holding like this, see? So my finger gets inside, and I'm like, and I nail him to the ground. All the time, when you push him, nail him to the ground. As I told you, the hand is not going like this because we were looking for the aorta. So it means it has to go forward and down. So it's like a 45 degrees down in here. Another position is like when we're using those two, and we put them under the mandibula, and we grab the eyes like this, and we take the guy away from us. So like when the guy is holding us like a bear, that will be just to stab your hand. Another very easy solution is like when he holding me over my hand, so my both hands can tap on his groin. And to hit the groin, basically you want to do like a net, a big hand, and to hit all over, because you don't know where the location of his stuff, okay? So you hit like this, you hit like this, and very easy, free. You don't have to hit hard. Just easy, and you get it. Two fingers go over and down. One finger go over and down. From the back, two fingers and down. The next, it could be like the position the guy is holding my hand, or anything like I have like an angle like this to the guy. And on the same time, I will pull my hand to take him out of his balance forward. And on the same time I'm pushing him, this hand will go and do this move and drop him down. Again. So when the guy holds me, basically I will hit him like this. So from here, palm, this is the first hit. The second I go, I can grab something, grab in here, and I go back. From here I can go like an arm lock. Okay. The same when the guy is in my side, I can put my fingers and go down and nail him to the ground. Okay, the next is the same application of this point. So the guy is choking me like a side choke. I don't want him to take me to the ground. So my first move is to stabilize myself, hitting his groin by like this. The next I can, after hitting his groin, grab them and cut them away if I need. I take my other hand in between my head to his head. I can hit his ear and I go again. I can grab eyes, but I go like for this point and I take him down. And again, after I take him down, I can nail him with this finger. Many times, when I come to hit the guy balls, he knows and he might protect them. but on the same time you protect them from the front, we'll open them from the back. And I can put my fingers and then hit, get in between, kick him to the ground, and nail him again with one finger inside his trust. Okay? The next is how you hit with this part. Basically, even when you punch, it's what we call a 1-inch punch, like from this position. And the idea is like when you're doing CPR to somebody, you relax your hand and by one time you squeeze it in. You know? So on the same, when you hit somebody, you just hit like this. And when you go to the jaw, the guy will be knocked out because nobody likes to get hit on the jaw like that way or that way with this. So if you go like this to the jaw, it's not the chest. The jaw is weak. If you hit the jaw, it will be knocked out. If you hit the neck, you have 7 vertebrae. So if I hit the neck like this or that, you know, those kind of hits. So I need power like 20 kilo. A power of 20 kilo is something like that, and everybody have it. So it's no matter if I hit like a knife or if I hit with this part. I prefer to hit with my bone, like the radius bone. It's strong enough. It's like a low kick with my leg, but I do it with my hand. So many times when the guy grabs my hand, I'm like this, and I knock him down by hitting his neck. Neck can be break from 20 kilo. Chest, 250 to 500 kilo. That's a big difference. That's why we will attack mandibular and neck rather than strong parts of the body. We must remember when we fight that any strong part in our body, any part that we don't feel pain or less pain, is a good part to use as a hammer to hit the guy. So it could be those two bones, it could be this part, it could be the elbow, it could be the elbow from the back, it could be like my shoulder, it could be anything like my hip. So if the guy is holding me, it could be my butt that I'm hitting his groin, it could be my headbutt or from the side. But I will not go headbutt his head, I will go and headbutt his nose, his face. That's much more power, the headbutt, than the nose. So you have to calculate what part you're hitting, and actually all your body is a one tool as a hammer. So you can hit like this, you can hit like that. Anything that you want to hit will work for you. Okay, so as we said, I will hit him or hit him or hit him, any kind of those kind of tools. So right now I'm not teaching too much, I'm just doing like introduction. The next is like when the guy is fighting with me or something, I kick like a low kick with my shin. Basically, I will not try to get with this part. Even if I have a good shoes, I will go like a little bit the part that's close to my knee, but not with my knee, this part. And many people that still kicking a good low kick, but if you look, my fingers now go up. If they go up, my kick is the worst. If my kick go down and my toes go down, actually, in every kick, I gain a lot of power. So the kick should not be fancy. It should be like from this distance, and it should be coming from the front, like this way. And the moment the guy gets hit in here, he will open his face to an elbow or other strike. We cannot control this part when we hit in this part. And when we're getting hit in this part, we will be open in that part. And nobody can control both of them unless he's very professional. So I will go and hit him in here, and I will look for the other hole to get like another hit. When we get a fight with somebody, actually, I will ask him to put because I'm going to knee him, so I'm going to choke him like that way. So I'm going to actually and grab his head, and he will try not to let his head go down, because when his head goes down like this, I can open and get my knee inside. I can turn, and again, open. He thinks he gets free, but then he gets my knee inside. And the next exercise, I take like 5 seconds, that in these 5 seconds, actually, I hit the guy. I did it only with one leg that you can see, but I knee, and I go to low kick, and of course I can go like with my elbow, head back, or with my other leg. You know, so at the last one, I manipulate his neck, and I took him to the ground. On the same time, I could go other direction and make a damage to the neck. And when I go over him, my knee is all the time on him. My next technique is disoriented. Again, I will make my opponent disoriented. There are many techniques to do it. I will name only two. So the first, like I'm talking to the guy, like I'm a bouncer, I could be law enforcement, anything. And I need to disorient my guy. Even for 1 second, I can knock him out, or I can just disorient him for a few seconds and escape. So when I'm talking to him, my hands are here, and by one strike, I'm like disoriented for him. So that's the first disoriented technique. I'm talking to him like I will come like undercover, like armed guy, and I say, I want to go out and he get a cigarette or something, he get a cigarette. Wait. I see. What is this one? And you remember before we get again to the ground, and a few things that are very important on the ground is to keep this arm. You don't need even to arm lock it, just to keep it, and keep this biceps away from you. So if you try to punch, you'll have defense. The next is like my knee is going over here, and in a few moments you will see why. But we're talking about disoriented. So you see like a disoriented technique on the standing, and now I will do disoriented while the guy is on the ground. We just got to the ground and I'm coming on him. So I will do it very fast. There's no mark, but the guy is a little bit disoriented that I can go to my next techniques. If I want to make damage, I go to the jaw. But in this technique, it's just very quick. I can do it on his ears, it's much more damage, but I go only on his temples, very quick technique, and that's it. Then I can go and grab the guy or arrest him or run away. My next technique is not that I want to be in this position, but let's say that I drop down or the guy knee me or anything and I fall down. And the next moment I find myself on the ground in this height, and the next danger for me is that the guy is going to knee me or boxing me. So I have to take a big advantage. Basically you can see people sometimes in grappling, they clinch you. So immediately they go and clinch your leg or clinch you in here. So you push the knee again in 45 degrees and you drop him and you disappear. So that's one of the techniques. The contra technique is like I'm standing in here and Brian is going down to my leg, okay? So immediately when he comes to my leg, or we're in the middle of clinch, so I will stop him away from him because I want to knee him. And again, if you remember those points, so I'm going like to this point and I manipulate his head away. That way I can come and fight again as the impact fighter and not go to the grappling. So when he comes to my knee, I will hold the nose and I will turn the head and rotate it and get back away from him, because if I'm not a good grappler, I don't want to go to the ground with him. So whenever he wants to clinch me, I will try to rotate his neck, keep him away from me from his shoulder. So like when he's on my leg, so the guy is down and he tries to come on my leg, I try to avoid him from coming to here. Because from here I want to knee him, to kick him, to elbow him. I don't want him to get close to me like this. The more he gets close, I'm going to the grappling part, which I don't want. So immediately grab the nose, take him, and stay on your impact side. The next technique, we call it an arrow. We make it like an arrow. It could be up or it could be down. And the first arrow is like when we get a strike from up. It could be an up, it could be a knife, but many times when the guy comes, I do this move. And I try to be away from this part. In this part I will get hit the most. In here I will be less. In here I will be much less. So for me, I will try to clinch and to close the distance as much as I can inside. I don't need to stay like this, so that hand can get him or hit him or hit him, and on the same time I keep this hand in here. So like to make him surprised and to take his attention, I will do at the same time like a kick down. So I will do like this move. So a complete will be an arrow with a technique of clinch. So it's like this, and I'm stuck to his face, and from here I can grab and go to the knee or anything that you know for a fight. Another way of clinching to close the distance, and why it's important, sometimes we have to take or to arrest somebody from a very, very oriented criminal or terrorist area. And we want to do it very quick. So we will use like a silent walk, like you show me, using a vital points and disorient the guy. And at the same time, one of the guys will clinch the guy, and another one will clinch later. So it's like, could be that we do it undercover. You can do it as a grappler, that you do this, and you take him down, and you go for the grappling part. If you're a policeman, you will roll him, and you will go like for the arresting techniques, and you will handcuff him. So it depends what kind of a job we want to do. So before I go like for the police or arresting techniques, I will show you like how to clinch. So the guy is standing, and let's say one of the guys come and ask him a cigar or something to smoke, and at the same time you hit him and clinch the guy. After you clinch both hands, you grab and turn him like this. You put your legs that he cannot kick or hit. So there's no gap in between here. And now I will come from Chris just to approach from this side behind me, lift his legs, and we can run into the car. I show another techniques like how to arrest or carry somebody from a place that you don't want him to be there and you want him to be in prison, but you don't need his friends to stop you from doing it. You need to be very fast, come with the car and get away. So like, or it could be like I'm a policeman and we are both policemen, said to him, come, let's go to the car. By putting my arms in here, basically, I make sure that he cannot punch, because now I control his biceps. You know, it's like this, and like whenever you move his hand, move your hand, I have control on his hand, okay? So the next thing, like Brian is talking to him, and I say, come on guy, or something, I can hit him like this on the groin. On the same time, like when I do this, or Brian is hitting his groin, I hit the head, and Chris come back, and we hit the shoulder, and the guy is out. If you make problems, you can use other aggressive techniques. You know, there's no rule. Like, who is hitting me? Immediately grab the hand. Yeah?
I'll say that.
Okay, ready? See how quickly it is? The idea in those techniques is that I need to control the elbow and open it by pushing, pulling it to me. And at the same time, this hand is inside. So I'm doing like this, and I have the guy. So 1 minute I do it by myself. So if I want to arrest the guy, I do this, and at the same time, I turn him, and I arrest him to my car. So if you see, I mix the first point, and I move to a resting technique. In this technique, the next, I will use Brian, and we'll do only this one. The guy is very strong, so we will disorient him, maybe a little more than this, more than that, more. So after I do this, I will take him to the ground. Chris is coming, and on the same time we will cross his legs, and we will lift him like that way. 1, 2, 3. My next move is like when we move to grappling techniques, and basically many people when they go to grappling, they try to hold the guy on the ground, and that's not necessary. The only necessary is that you keep this shoulder with you. It means if the guy will do this and will take his shoulder away, he's free from my hold. So it could be like a sport hold, it could be like still a sport hold, but I can make damage to the neck, or I can go like this and make damage to the neck. But the basic, what I want to show you in this hold is like, I try to keep his biceps not to hit me. So like, if the guy wants to go to punch me, actually, I don't try to stop his hand, I just try to do not let it come to me. Also, I don't care if you move the hand, the only thing I care is to hold his triceps and hold him close to me. There are a lot of techniques like to break his legs, or to break his hand, or to break it, or to go like for other breaks. I'm not going to show this, I'm just going to show you principle of what people call today side mount, or some people use Japanese term. I prefer the Japanese term because that's my knowledge. And also, like when I want to go rough, I use my elbows, or I use like chokes whenever I work with the guy. So from here, if my hip is like this and I fight with the guy, so I can control him. One major point is the shoulder and to hold the elbow. Now if I'm losing, I will just change my hip and this hand come in here under his back and the other one in here. So if he keeps fighting me, actually by using this elbow, I control his hand move and he cannot still punch me. And this hip keeps this hand. He will try to put his elbow inside me, and this hand will keep his hip to do not manipulate and change hip for him. The next is like if I'm losing, I can go and hold like opposite side, and from here I can go and mount the guy. So basically, when I'm mounting the guy, again, I give him like CPR, and I nail him, and the guy, he need to close his face. On the moment when he closes his face, I CPR him,